plywood's been relaxed / straightened out. I want it to be a little more curved to the boat, but oh well, I left it sitting all upside down too long. The front tow hook is installed. I'm gonna go ahead and get to putting this and marking it and cutting it and all that jazz. Alright, so I got my pencil. All I'm going to do is press down gently on either side. With it traced all the way out, we can flip it over. Cut it out with a jigsaw. I went ahead and sanded the chine logs. I'm sorry, these would be, yeah, the chine logs. For the top, where like epoxy and stain and everything dribbled over. It's a dusty mess on the inside. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm going to make more of a mess. I'll vacuum it and brush it all out and blow it out later. So it's good to go. What I'm going to start with is getting this up. I'm going to put a screw right in the bow. I'm going to start out my whole process of putting this down. And I'm going to use these zinc ones, these zinc screws. And after I stain, I'm going to come back. And change them out for brass. Just because I can't take brass ones back out like I can take the zinc ones. And when I stain the boat, the brass actually absorbs some of the stain and makes them darker. And I want them to pop more on the deck. But I've got the center line of the deck pre-drilled, countersunk, and Phillips head zinc screws in it. It'll keep from going anywhere. I've marked out one of the good things about this cheap paneling, whatever you want to call it, 1/4 inch, is it's got these X's all over it. See here? I think that's every 4 inches or so. Well, these are not on the outside. On the outside, they're every 2 inches, and they're close to every 4 inches, pretty much every 4 inches along the inside of it. So I can see with the gap, I'm going to stick my hand in, to where it'll give me plenty of room to trim and everything else from the inside. So, what I'm going to do is cut one here. way the plans call to do this is to actually split the whole sheet of plywood down the middle first and mark the center line, do it in halves. But I really didn't want a seam in the middle, even though I had plenty of room for a seam here. But trying to seam this area for the motor well, I wasn't having it. What I want to do is I want to keep this piece, even though it's going to be rather thin, like an inch, inch and a half, maybe 2 at most, just for aesthetic reasons, so I don't have a cut where you would see the top of the seat. So now I go ahead and work on cutting the back out. Alright, so I made this template with this little jig here. There's a 1/2 inch gap difference here. So I'm going to use this for 2 different purposes. One, in finish the cutting of the holes. This will sit up against the frame. It'll ride along it and give me a 1/2 inch gap. A 1/2 inch difference, so I have a 1/2 inch overhang. And then I'm going to use it on the edges the opposite way, to where this part will ride along the boat and give me 1/2 an inch in for me to drill and tap and stuff. With the deck screwed on, I have literally every screw in it that it's gonna get. Well, for this piece anyways. So now my favorite part is planing. I love the results that it gives. It just takes forever. And I know some of you are going to be like, well, just adjust the depth of the blade, but I got to be careful because with this 1/4 inch, it'll just shred it. I can tell the blade's starting to get dull, but I'm just about done. Alright, the next part I'm going to have to do is sand, and but it gives me a really nice edge down the side for the trim. I've already put the other side on of the trim. This is actually an 8-foot stick of oak. It called for, I think it was 3/4 inch round, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So I got this other stuff that has, you can see, has a little bit of a profile, but when I sand on it, this one kind of disappears and gives it a more of a round. And then just a nice little lip to where it'll cover all the lower screws. Now, I was originally going to use ring nails and go all the way around, because that's what the plans call for. But it didn't go so well trying to nail little finishing ring nails into a freaking piece of hard oak. I had to do some research to find out what a ring nail technically is. They use it for boat building terms as a ring nail, but that's not what it is. It's actually a paneling nail is what they call it. Let's see if you can see how it has little ridges in it. I got this white one so I could show you. It's got little rings on it, little serrations to help bite in, and it was kind of a pain to try to put these into the little stick of oak. So what I ended up doing is, in case I need to do a repair or anything else like that, I'd end up tearing more apart and having to replace it in the end, versus I'm using screws and I'm countersinking them kind of deep, and then I'm just going to fill them and then just hog it out with a knife later if I need to. But as you can see, I've already put a little bit of a bevel on this one to fit right in here. deck's on. Got all the brass screws in. It's glued down, stained, the whole nine. The only thing I got left is I gotta do a coat of epoxy on it. Alright, just got the coat. Good coat of epoxy on here. A couple of sags here and there, but I'm gonna let this dry, cure, as it were. And after that, I'm going to be taking it to a buddy of mine. He's got a body shop. I'm not geared up for any kind of clear coat or automotive paint at the moment. So he's going to hook me up. I'll take it up there,